No,
I was sitting there thinking, oh, he's going to notice as soon as he joins.
so I'll tell you the real story behind where that actually started. So the Reckless Love Boys, Pepe decided to sell a pair of his cowboy boots.
We saw.
They were for sale for I think it was €500 or 500 quid. And we're a band who likes to take the piss, okay? So Lowell comes up to me and he goes, look, Tag, we've got to do something about this. I can't believe it. It's absolutely outrageous that they can charge that much. He said, well, look, let's just sell a pair of your pants. And I genuinely didn't think that anyone would actually buy them. So we put them straight up on the merch as just a diss to the boots, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we thought at first we were like, well, we've got to sell it for 100 quid. And I was like, absolutely not. Because I was like, then we're joining in with theirs. I was like, we sell them really 20 quid. That's it. Job done. And you know what? I applaud you, bro. I will forever remember that moment.
And then number one, Let It Begin. I felt I had to put that at number one.
Do you know what? I just realised I missed Let It Begin out of my five.
Yeah. That I scream no. I think me and Tom. There's no song we scream louder than that song.
Yeah.
But we don't scream it. We squeal it.
Interesting story about that song. So the original lyrics, when so you kind of had the idea and the song was going along, and just when you have these kind of things, like you throw out like jumble words, okay, to try and the original actual lyrics we had was,
hello, welcome to the episode 7, I think, of the Uncensored podcast.
He's counting it correctly. It's
How you
actually 7.
doing?
Hello, I'm Riley still. That's Tom still, and we have a guest. I say the same thing every episode.
It's okay.
He says it every single time.
I'm still Tag. Don't worry. Nothing's changed.
Nothing's changed. But nice to have you on, Tag. Great to have you here.
Oh, this is surreal. This is a fever dream for me right now. Like,
To be fair, for both of us, we've always wanted you on, and we were sitting there thinking, oh, it'll be a later episode one day. We didn't know it would be this early.
yeah, exactly. Because like all the other guests we've got on, they're people that we've listened to, but we started listening on because they're coming on the podcast. But this time we have like one of our favorite bands on, like that we knew before, like way before we thought of a podcast. So it's pretty mental. I can't even lie.
No, pretty well. Listen, honestly, thank you for having me, guys. Like, really, really appreciate it. And yeah, I think it kind of all stemmed from you boys down in London when I kind of didn't realize you had the podcast going, and then when you said you did, I think this is just awesome. And it's so cool that you're doing stuff like that to get new music out there to people, and get them to be able to kind of chat and listen to what people they listen to are saying.
Yeah, exactly. That's why we started it. If there's one thing I can do, it's talk. And if there's one thing I love, it's like music. So if I just you make this,
amalgamate it together, it's beautiful.
Exactly. And it's so incredible to be able to learn about all these bands and when I started and everything. It's really awesome. And I mean, this is clearly showing that we're getting somewhere.
Honestly, it's wicked, man. I think it's the whole podcast thing is such a cool thing that has kind of developed in the last, I don't know how many years, but it's so cool to see so many people kind of doing it and so many outlets of where you can chat about music. It's wicked. What could be better?
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
To be fair, we just do it for fun at the end of the day. We don't do it for money or anything or views. We just do it just because it will give us something to do during the week.
Yeah, it's really, really fun until I have to sit there the following day and chop it all together.
You have to have one tech person, you know what I mean? So it's all right.
But the recording part and the uploading part is brilliant. It's just the editing is not as fun. I have bare minimal editing as well. Even that kills me.
No, I feel for you, bro. Whenever we come around to doing our records as well, the editing processes on them are just
I can imagine.
It's a long task.
Oh god. Right.
So let's get round to the questions because I've got a big old list of questions.
All right, fire away, man. Fire away.
So, how did the treatment come to be? How did it come to be?
So the treatment actually started with, Dan, the drummer Danny.
Yeah.
Danny kind of decided he wanted to play drums, and his dad, Laurie, he had been in so many awesome bands from the 80s. So he had Moore and Air Race were his big sort of bands in the 80s. And then he went on to manage another band after that. And I think when Dan decided he wanted to play drums, he kind of went to his father and just said, look, you know, this is something I really want to do. And so the two of them started The Treatment back in Dagenham, actually. It was started in Dagenham, before they moved to Cambridge. And
Down the right area.
Yeah. And so then they moved to Cambridge, and they had the idea of what it wanted to be like. The Treatment actually originally was a band called GSM, which was God Sax Man, and it was kind of quite a different sound. And then eventually a few different people came in and out, and then Dan and Laurie found the original guitarist Ben, and Ben knew Rick, and I went to school with Rick, so then that was how I kind of came in. And then we translate a couple of years later on, a few member changes, and you have The Treatment as it is today with Teo in it, Rand on vocals, and then obviously newest addition is Andy from Newcastle, which the core of The Treatment really started between Dan and Lowell. Like it's always been their baby. They have like the kind of the blueprint for what they want for it, you know, just literally being a hard rocking, hard hitting band, and then everything kind of just sort of fell into place after that.
Obviously you do stuff with like another band, Mansworth, obviously. Yeah. Which that is, I've heard bits off like Facebook and Instagram that have been put up there, and they sound amazing.
So Mansworth I've literally just been jamming with Lowell actually next door. So because we've got the first ever Mansworth gig coming up on Sunday.
Milton Keynes.
Yeah, in Milton Keynes. So yeah, we're kind of going through that at the moment. But Mansworth kind of thing that Lowell writes a lot with The Treatment, and he's always kind of had his own band on the go. Obviously Air Race has kind of been on and off for pretty much the whole duration while I've been in The Treatment. And I think he just decided he wanted to do something a bit different, like a different sound, not really AOR. I think much more hard hitting and more riff orientated. So he started doing Mansworth. He had these bunch of songs, and he didn't really I don't know, we were just like jamming it, and then all of a sudden he was like, fuck it, let's do something. And then the name Mansworth came about, he decided, and it's kind of grown ever since then. And then Rob from Piston, he came down and did the vocals on it, and he's just got a very different voice to Tom, which is really, really cool. That kind of working with a very different singer. And I think the sound of Mansworth is very different to The Treatment. It's quite hard to describe it. It's like really groovy, much more like riff orientated, but obviously mega melodies and then big guitars. And he's also got a keyboard player called Izzy. And she's doing the keys, which kind of adds like a very, very different flavor to it, which is quite cool. So it's very, very different to Treatment. So I think that's something that's gonna run alongside, and the two bands will just go, and like when Treatment finishes touring, then we'll do some Mansworth, and then when that finishes touring, then we'll do Treatment. And it's quite cool.
Kind of alternate it.
Yeah, well, it's really cool because we're always playing together. So it's really nice to have, like, even when we come off the road, like the band doesn't really stop playing because it's still got me, Dan, Teo, and Lowell in it. So there's constant music always going around, which is really nice. And, you know, when you see The Treatment, it's like a well-oiled machine, because when we're not doing Treatment, there's still kind of music going on, which is really cool. So yeah, I'm super excited for the first gig. I don't think none of us kind of really know what to expect, because, you know, it's when something new starts, you don't know what it's going to sound like. So, but it's heavy. It's a really weird kind of heavy because it's very down tuned. So it sounds massive. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what it's going to be like.
Nice.
Definitely. Right. So I have the bad question now.
Oh, hit me.
I get the better ones further along. But right, so the origin of the name, how did you come up with Treatment?
I think Treatment kind of started. I mean, there's a couple of stories, so I'll tell you two. There was one that Dan always had the nickname Dan the Dentist. Okay, right. And that came about because when he was at school, having long hair as a kid, he was always bullied, and we never really cared because we always loved rock and roll. But Dan kind of got into a little bit of a scuffle with what we like to call the chavs at school. I don't know, you boys might be a bit young, but we had chavs and grebos. So you were a grebo if you had long hair, and you were a chav if you had short hair. He got into a little scuffle with one of them, punched the kid so hard that he had to go to dentist. He had I think he had braces or something. From everyone that we always called him Dan the dentist, and I think the treatment just kind of came out of that. It also, some people reckon it came around because Dan and Lowell, they're quite into their football, and there was the firm, the Millwall firm called The Treatment, and some people reckon it came from that, but obviously don't particularly want to be related to football violence and hooliganism and all that kind of great stuff. So the kind of the name came, in both ways, and I just think it is when it was kind of thrown around, it was just like, do you know what, that is just such a cool, catchy name. Like, it's got so much you can do with the artwork. And, we've always had the kind of nurses dressed up along the way. Like, it's just a great name that you can tie a lot of stuff into it. But yeah, so it kind of came from either of those. I can't really remember which one, but yeah, you can decide. You can take your pick of whichever story you prefer.
Oh, they'll both stay in.
So I definitely seem to be liking the first one.
Yeah, I quite like the first. I think it's a good one.
That sounds like a totally better origin story rather than Millwall.
Yeah.
No, but I was surprised, because I would have thought rock has been around for ages. So the fact that a band the name The Treatment, the fact that it's not super popular, I was surprised, because it seems quite oh yeah, it's a sick name. Why didn't I think of that kind of thing?
But that's all the greatest things. Do you know what I mean? The greatest songs are all just 3 chords, and you go why the hell didn't I think of that? But sometimes the simplest stuff is the hardest stuff to get right.
Definitely.
Yeah, definitely.
Right, Tom.
Right, so bit of a random one, your taste at the moment. What is your go-to music at this time at this time?
Okay, so I'm AC/DC through and through. Whenever I'm having a shit day, if ever I'm having a good day, it's AC/DC. Whenever I want to get in the mood, okay. But recently, there've been a few really cool bands that I've kind of found. I think the tour we did in April, we had South of Salem on the bill with us, and now I wasn't really a fan of their music before, but when I saw them live, I totally got it. And actually, I kind of went away and listened to the record, and I think their first record's absolutely fantastic. I'm a big Rival Sons fan. I think they've got something really cool going on. I think they've got something quite original. And a recent band that's come out, I don't know if you've heard of it, it's called Dirty Honey.
Yep, heard of them.
At the moment they're in my top sort of listening for rock and roll. I really enjoy them. And I tell you a band that I actually came across the other day that I don't know how I hadn't come across before, was Jane's Addiction, which has Dave Navarro on guitar. So he did some stuff with Glenn Hughes. And I was going through their back catalogue, and they've actually got some really cool stuff. I was a big fan of when Dave Navarro and sort of Glenn Hughes collaborated, and they had some really cool songs. Soul Mover was one of them. I don't know if you ever heard of it, but it's well worth Songs in the Key, which is about as cheesy as it gets, but there's some great tunes off that. But yeah, and then kind of from that went and listened a bit more, and Jane's Addiction, I'm quite into them at the moment. But there's loads of great bands. I don't know, there's one, Glitterati, that was around about 10 years ago. They had a great record. Their first record was really good. I'm a big fan of Jet as well. Really like that Aussie band Jet. Yeah, they had their first album, again, I really like. They kind of had some golden songs on there. But it's, for me,
that we're thinking of the same Jet.
The Jet from Oz. They had Are You Gonna Be My Girl? Was their big hit?
I thought so.
Yeah. So if you actually listen, although I think that song's, it's a bit kind of number based, that song for me, kind of predictable, but there's quite a lot of stuff on that album that's really good. It had that real raw Aussie energy that I really like. But yeah, there's loads of killer bands. You always see them all the time, but it's, for me, the test is when you go and see a band live and you see what they're about. And for me, South of Salem were really great, and again, they were just great dudes, and I think they're going to have a really cool future. They got some good stuff going.
I reckon so.
I think that is I'm gonna speak. I think that is one lesson me and Tom could definitely take away from I've went a whole 5 minutes without speaking. That's completely unprecedented. But is that like going to live concert is the best way to find like music that you would never have otherwise. Because I mean, we at least I did. I don't know about Tom, but I discovered you through the Fozzy concert. And then through there, I like through going to your concerts, I discovered like South of Salem and like all of that, and it gets bigger, it expands.
Yeah,
and I
totally.
love that about the rock industry.
You know, bands can just when you see a band live, they can totally. It's weird. The energy can kind of speak for itself, and you can experience way more live than you can just by putting a record on. The records don't always capture everything, and I think that's what the treatment have tried to do. And I think we got really close with Waiting for Good Luck. The last album was capturing the live sound of the band. Like, you know, when you see it live, it's a different energy, and it was the first album that we had recorded live, which was something that Lowell really, really wanted to do. And we'd kind of never really had the chance until lockdown happened. And then we were all locked down together. So we had nothing to do but to play, which is amazing. And then from that, Lowell was kind of like, right, look, he'd always wanted to record the band live and then be able to, go to the legendary Rockfield. Like normally you wouldn't have a chance of booking these places because there's just so many artists that always want it. But throughout COVID, obviously a lot of bands weren't recording in the studios and were doing a lot of stuff at home. So we managed to squeeze 4 days in there, which was what really gave us, in the last album, something special and something that was quite different, I think, which was really cool. But yeah, totally going back to your live thing, it's that's how a band, really portrays itself. And the coolest thing about gigs is you get to see bands like, the support bands who you have no idea about. I mean, with Fozzy, you'd probably never even heard of us if you hadn't seen us on that bill. And then, you skip forward and you go, fuck, like you see so many cool bands like that way. That's what I love about when we go on, you get to meet different bands, you get to hang out with them, It's really, really, it's a great way of life.
That is definitely something I'm thankful for, that because that Fozzy got that gig almost got cancelled, like, didn't it? And then,
yeah, it did actually. No, God, I've completely forgot about that. I mean, there was a couple of shows on that Fozzy tour that did get cancelled, so I can't.
Yeah, it was the two before us.
You the time where I get to say the thing.
Oh no, it was two of them that cancelled before.
Yeah, but they didn't cancel for us instead.
Oh no, here we go again.
He loves saying the ultimate Fozzy fan fest.
That's what they went around promoting it as.
Yeah, it was the one thing I will say is it can be really, as a fan of music, when your artist, the guy you're going to see cancels, it can be shit. But if you flip it on the other side, when you're on tour, like, it's not easy, like day in, day out, you're in different locations, different venues, you don't sleep properly, you don't have any personal space. And, especially Fozzy's he's a man he's done a lot of stuff in his life. Do you know what I mean? He's got a pretty high-flying life. I can feel for the guy, and I think it was really good that he didn't, he had to cancel 2 shows. Again, I think that was under doctor's instructions. Yeah. But what they did for the London show, I really applaud him, because they could have cancelled all 3. And it's not only Fozzy they're cancelling. Obviously, it was us and Stitched Up Heart that would have lost out, because we were still, obviously, we'd had everything ready. We had the vans ready, the gears ready. And the fact that Fozzy kind of tried to turn it around and go, look, all right, I can't perform, but let's do something special. Let's have a listen to the new album and do a Q&A. Yeah. And it then gave us a chance to play for an hour, which was fucking awesome.
Yeah.
So for us, it was kind of really cool. And I think we were all very thankful that the Fozzy did that, because it would have been easy for him just to cancel the show and fly back to America and do whatever. But, it did take a lot of balls, because it must have been awkward for him, the 4 guys just sitting on stage listening to their album. But I think they tried to do something really cool for it. And it wasn't obviously everyone's cup of tea, obviously people wanted to see him perform. But I think it was more courageous to go and do something and try and do something for the fans. So at least they had a show to go to, than just to cancel the whole thing altogether. And there was quite a lot of backlash and hate on that. I got a lot of admiration for him, because it did take a lot for him to do that, and I thought it was quite cool. Although it wasn't ideal, it's still better than no gig.
Exactly.
And hey,
as much as I might mock the name, like, we had a better experience than we may have got if, like, it was normal. We got to hear the album 6 months early.
Exactly. Yeah.
And we were literally in a room with as one of the first 100 people to ever hear this album in completion. Like, not even the band had heard it in completion.
Exactly.
We got VIP as well.
Yeah, we got VIP. So I mean, you got my signed poster there, my
signed
t-shirt there. So,
meet Chris Jericho and all the others, which I was happy about.
And I still got live music, and the live music turned out to be one of my favorite bands in the end. So like a band that, like, unbeknownst to me, a band I'd seen multiple times, like within that next year, and planning on seeing a lot more times. Like,
that's it, man. But that's the beauty of live music, you know, and that's the thing that I think, you know, we all respected Fozzy, the fact that he could have just pulled the show like that, but he really pulled it out of the bag on that one, and you know, just tried to do something different instead of cancelling, which I think is great. But he's on the road again. It's him and Escape the Fate.
Yeah, and he's done it again.
Wait,
I'm not even. He's it's something to do with his larynx, I'm pretty sure.
Are you joking?
No. Because I think they had to cancel 2 or 3 shows. I think that's what I've heard. That's what he'd been posting on his Instagram.
Oh Jesus! Well, I mean, listen. Luckily, boys, I've got to say, The Treatment is not a band that ever really cancels shows. I think the only one we had to cancel recently was last year's Stone Dead, when it was absolutely savage. So we all congregated in Cambridge. Back when COVID was like hardcore, so you all had to take one of them PCR fucking things, and so we're all sitting indoors. We all thought, all right, day before, quickly take these, all good. And I was in my room, and then I just hear no. I was like, what the fuck is going on? I go walking through, and then Tom's obviously got a positive result, and we were devastated. Like, I mean, the van's packed. Like, the gear's ready to go. Like, we've all got stage gear. We've done our rehearsals, and it was probably the worst 24 hours of my life, knowing that we should have been playing a festival and cancelled instead. But hey, we got to it this year. We headline instead. But apart from that, The Treatment, we've hardly ever cancelled any shows. We've been really, really lucky in that sense.
Yeah.
I'm just fact checked, by the way. It's been postponed. Like, the rest of the tour has been postponed to April. So,
cuts me deep, bro.
Yeah, I can't remember I'm not sure if I've actually seen this, like if I'm actually dreaming or not. But I'm pretty sure The Treatment actually played at Download one year. I can't remember what year, but I think I remember seeing it somewhere that you'd actually played Download.
We did. We've done Download twice actually. We've each time we've done we've done the Red Bull tent. And Download, mate, that's a great one. Yeah, it's been a long time since we've done it actually.
We need you next year. That's all I'm going to say. I'm going next year, and I'll be there next year.
I completely agree.
I said to Tom, as soon as
in 2 years' time, actually, because I'd rather finish school first, if that's all right. When I'm in college, then it's fine. I just need to get my GCSEs done first.
Yeah, don't worry about those GCSEs, bro.
Yeah, I've said to Tom, as soon as he got over to the merch stand at that London gig, I went, when are you headlining down? Not headlining Download. When are you going to actually eventually do Download? And he went, you tell me. I went, well, you need to get there as soon as you can.
Yeah,
morning, by the way.
Cool. Do we just just start up another one, can't we?
Yeah, we'll start up another one.
Yeah, wicked.
You know,
it's so Downloads. I mean, it's such a legendary festival, and it is amazing. Yeah. It's definitely something that's on our cards. We really, really want to go back. I think it's just each time it's kind of fallen. We've either had something on or been in the studio, or just not. It's quite a big festival to commit to. Do you know what I mean? Because it's not just there; it's filmed as well. Like it's a really, really big event, and it's not quite fallen in when we've had offers for it, fallen in the right time. But it's been a few years since we've been, and we'll definitely be going back. Like, I think there's a new hype behind the band at the moment. There's, we are a band who've been around for a long time now, and with some member changes, it does make things hard. But I think now we've re-established ourselves with Tom, and it's definitely, there's a very amazing momentum behind us at the moment. Like, we just seem to be going from tour to tour. Every tour's selling well. Like, our headline tour in April was just amazing. Like, for right now, the current scene of music and how hard it can be to pack out venues, it was just all round success, and we were amazed with the turnouts we'd had. It was really good. And then straight away, obviously, we just come off with Reckless Love. We've just brought out a couple of new festivals, one for later this year, some going into next year. It's really, really looking positive for us at the moment. It's a great scene.
Definitely.
Yeah, definitely. Download is on the card, so don't worry, brother.
Okay, it's because we are like limited time for this one. I'm going to ask a question that shouldn't take too long.
All right.
So do you listen to your own music like casually? Do you ever go home and listen to the treatment?
So we kind of when a record's done, you spent so long listening to it, tweaking it, checking this, checking that. Like, I mean, you know, doing all the vocal takes, the BB takes, and the guitar takes, and this, that. By the time the record's done and dusted, you literally have one run through and you have one final listen, and then you go, I don't ever want to hear any of those songs again. And then you have to go and play them live. You never ever listen to your own music, but every now and again you'll have something on shuffle, and then one of your tunes will come up, and it might be like a classic one that came up for me the other day was I'll Be There off the first record. It's not a tune that we ever do live, and we haven't played that in the set for probably 8-9 years now, and it came on, and all of a sudden I was just like, fuck, this is great. And so I think you may, I wouldn't ever put my own stuff on, but I think when something comes on and shuffle that you haven't heard in a long time, it is really, really cool to listen to, and you go, wow, that's something really special, you know.
I just want to get this in like real quick. Sorry, Tom, I know I've like not let you speak a lot, but just while it's on my mind, just while it's on my mind. Speaking of songs that you will never do live, please do Barman. Please, I'll never get another opportunity to say this.
I'm sure everyone wants it.
Like this.
I know. So at the moment that, you know, because the set's got quite a few new numbers in it. And when we look at changing it up again, it's definitely, I mean, Luck of the Draw is kind of our go-to like bluesy one. And we've always kind of thought of it as you can't really have Luck of the Draw and Barman because they're so similar in kind of pace and style. But when we look at redoing the set, Barman is definitely one that we really want to get in. The problem with Barman is
next to each other and fuse them into one mega song.
That could be done. the mega Barman meets.
This genius idea comes from Riley Jones and the Uncensored podcast, and
we'll feature you every time, okay? But yeah, no, it's definitely. I think the thing with Barman is it features a lot of the piano running through it as well, and that was quite a big part. Obviously, the first time the treatment had ever really kind of used piano on a record. And it was something we were a bit worried about live, where it wouldn't quite translate. But yeah, it's definitely a song that I think needs to go in the set list. So I'll take your word of advice, boys, and go back to
that was another thing about Barman, to be fair, because I think me and Riley had talked about this before. We was all wondering who actually plays the piano in Barman.
Yeah, so who is that on the guitar?
This again, I'm really glad you asked about Mansworth, right? Because that was the first time Lowell had his friend Izzy. So he just called her and said, listen, you know, he's got this song, and like, he was like, I really want some piano in it. Can you come down to the studio for a day or two? And Izzy kind of just walked in and she just blasted a load of, it honestly came out as like absolute bollocks. It's about the only thing I can say that totally worked for that record, because it is just a song. It's a boozer. It's about a geezer. He's really upset because his woman's run away and he's not very happy. And it's just a drinking man's song, you know? And so she came around, it wasn't even really planned. She was just honking away and, you know what I mean? And then all of a sudden, the kind of, we thought, actually, this could work going the whole way through the track. And yeah, so Iz did all the piano on it. And it was only about 6 months later when Lowell goes, actually, do you know what? I'm going to start this own thing called Mansworth. And straight away he was like, well, you know, got my friend Izzy. And that was where Izzy kind of got involved.
Oh. So, Tom, both of our guesses were very wrong as to who played the piano.
Well, who did you think?
I thought Tom did it. He looks like the piano type.
I can confirm with you boys that Tom could not even play Bar Bar Back Sheep on the piano.
To be fair, I can't either. So.
I am useless on the piano. I can play Welcome to the Black Parade and I can play nothing else.
Oh, no, what? Ding, ding, ding,
dun, dun, dun. Yeah, that's it. That's all I can play. No. Yeah, okay. So that settles it. We were very wrong.
How long have we got left, just in case I can...
3 minutes.
Cool. 3 minutes for
Come on, boys. Squeeze me a nice question.
perfect question. What is a band you don't really take a liking to?
I'm not going to say anything on this one because I was talking to Tom earlier about how I just slag something off every single episode. So I'm going to try not to today.
Okay. I take a very, very serious disliking to Joy Division.
I've never listened to himself.
Do yourself a favour, don't bother.
Don't. Just don't.
I'm not a big fan of Blur either.
Riley's upset. Riley's upset.
And
Riley loves Blur.
I've got to say, up until recently, Coldplay has never been up there for me. But
Good. It shouldn't be.
I have seen a few of their live gigs recently, and what they've done with the staging and the lights just blew my mind. Everyone had the wristbands.
That's so cool.
To me, that was just the coolest thing I've seen in years. I just thought that was amazing seeing.
If they made music, that would be like one of the best concerts.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, God, I don't know. Like, I'm quite do you know? I don't really. There's not many bands I dislike. Because I've got a lot of, anyone who's going to go and do their own music, it takes a certain amount of balls and dedication to go and do it.
Yeah.
And it's their own kind of style. But yeah, for me, Joy Division's pretty high up the list.
I don't even know if I'm able to say the bands that I have a specific dislike to.
Oh, come on.
No, I don't know if I'm able to.
I can easily, because I know I either get hated. I do it with a passion. Biffy Clyro, any day of the week, I hate. I have a pure hatred for them. They're just plain.
Yeah. Right.
That's all I'll say. Just plain.
We've got under a minute, so if I say this, it will cut off anyway, and I'll act like it didn't happen. But so on that Fozzy gig, there were two opening acts to listen to. There was The Treatment, which I proper love, and then there was Stitched Up Heart, which, I mean, they kind of made music, I guess. Wasn't my taste personally.
Yeah, like, do you know what? They were actually really sound people, but I think they got put on a bill that they shouldn't have been on. It just wasn't the right style.
They
it
didn't
wasn't
seem
the
to just
audience.
fit. Like,
they needed something like rocky rather than kind of like.
Yeah,
in my opinion, they sounded a bit like goth, emo-y kind of music.
Yeah,
but
goth, emo, hard. Just wasn't quite right thing.
Yeah, they needed something that fits perfectly. Something like a. Where did you leave off with?
Diddle-a-dun.
Dun dun dun. Bosh.
He normally edits a little Batman like spinning logo thing.
Yeah,
I did it once and then couldn't be bothered to do it a second time, but it was proper good the one time I did do it. So, right. So Tom was halfway through a sentence.
Was I? What sentence was that?
I don't.
I'm going to be honest. I completely forgot it.
So
it was
no.
Oh no, I remember, because I said it needs to be something like proper 80s. Like not 80s, like hard rock sounding for the opener Fozzy.
Yeah.
To be fair.
Yeah, probably.
I think that would have been such a better sound.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Definitely, yeah. It just wasn't quite the right fit for him, bless them. But they were really, really, really cool guys.
Yeah.
We never got to see them. I don't know if it was because we was a bit late or if they just didn't play at London.
They actually, so when Fozzy cancelled those two shows, they decided, because they'd never been to Europe before, they're like, they're like, dudes, we're just gonna go check out Paris real quick. And like, you do realize it's in a different country. And yeah, so they went to Paris for 2 days, and then two of them got COVID, so they couldn't make the last show anyway. Hence why we got the hour set list.
Well, that's perfect then. Perfect.
That's not good. No, Tom, let's not promote that. I hope they have a speedy recovery.
Yeah. I didn't mean it in the mean way. I meant it in the good way for The Treatment, because then they got to be promoted a bit more by Fozzy.
Agreed.
I don't think we actually met. We didn't actually meet you at Fozzie, I think we first met you at London, at your own show, because I think it was Teo, Andy, and Tom sat in the lobby, and we just went to go say hello to them. And I don't think you were out yet.
No, I don't think. I'm trying. That was at Lafayette, wasn't it?
That was after.
The first, yeah.
Oh, is he gone? So he's making some valid points.
We didn't meet. We met you at the
Lafayette. Yeah, that's good. Classic.
No, I'm not good at speaking mumbo jumbo.
Don't know what's going on here, but
oh, is he back?
Oh, here we go. Here we go.
This happens a lot.
That's right, man. It's the price of electricity these days, boys.
Right. I don't know how long Tom's going to be gone for, but I don't think I've ever shown this on a podcast, and so this isn't related to anything, but I want to. So 1 minute.
Hey, he's back. Is that what happens when you bring the treatment show when we don't play the right songs?
How sick is that?
Problem solved.
Right, I have a whole axe.
What on earth inspired you to buy that?
Right, so this is where
is this what it's gotten to since I've lagged?
Yeah, I decided.
Mate, you've been gone a long time, bro. It's been some weird things.
I've ever showed it on the podcast, and I just really want to. So basically,
I don't think you can show
really
a weapon on the
God
podcast,
of War,
Friday.
And this is a 1-to-1 scale replica of the Leviathan axe from God of War, with all the intricate rune markings and everything, solid steel and everything. Obviously, it's not sharp.
That's not as impressive.
He says in his hand.
yeah. Obviously, it's not sharp. Just lose all my fingers.
So basically, we won't muck around when you come to a show. Just you keep that at home, yeah. Doesn't play favourite treatment song.
This is what happens when you don't play Barman.
Take it with you.
Yeah. All right, boys. I promise you, Barman's in the set. Don't worry.
Perfect. But that's not the most impressive thing in the world that you have had on the
Tom
podcast.
Does have something more impressive.
Yes, we said it was going to happen. Voila! It's in the background. It's been there this whole time.
I actually love how I haven't even noticed that. That is just epic.
I actually sat to one side at one point and waited till you noticed it.
No,
I was sitting there thinking, he's going to notice as soon as he joins.
So I'll tell you the real story behind where that actually started.
Okay.
So the Reckless Love Boys, Pepe decided to sell a pair of his cowboy boots.
We saw.
They were for sale for I think it was 500 euros or 500 quid. And we're a band who likes to take the piss, okay? So Lowell comes up to me and he goes, look, Tag, we've got to do something about this. I can't believe that. It's absolutely outrageous how they can charge that much. I said, well, look, let's just sell a pair of your pants. And I genuinely didn't think that anyone would actually buy them. So we put them straight up on the merch as just a diss to the boots. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we thought at first we were like, well, we've got to sell it for 100 quid. And I was like, absolutely not. Because I was like, then we're joining in with theirs. I was like, we sell them really 20 quid. That's it. Job done. And you know what? I applaud you, bro. I will forever remember that moment because that was
it wasn't even me that bought them. It was my mum.
It was totally off the cuff, out of control, and I absolutely
loved it. To be fair, I walked in, I went, right, I'm instantly going to go get a T-shirt because I have to get a T-shirt at every gig I go to.
And
then I saw that and was like...
Your eyes were drawn to my pants.
Kind of, yeah. I literally, I did a double take. I looked away and looked back and went, hold on, what? And then my sister was next to me and I went, I think I need to buy Tag's pants now. And she went, no, Tom, that will make you look like a creep.
Well, we thought as well. We were thinking maybe we should have done on the board like £1 a sniff as well. Do you know what I mean?
we've got the board. We've got the thing that you wrote on as well. It's downstairs.
Amazing. Well, listen.
Yeah, I'd say there is a moral in that. Don't doubt your two biggest fangirls.
Listen, boys. What we'll do is we'll do a different pair of pants each tour. All right.
Is it going to be Tom's set next?
Yeah, you just
collect every single member.
It's like Pokemon cards. Like you got to get all 5 to unlock a secret.
Catch them all. That's not the treatments band.
That's not the only couple of things though, because I've managed to get a couple more things. For some strange reason, your brother gave me a guitar pick.
I can't think why I did that.
I don't know. I just went up to him and went, that was the best, probably one of the best gigs I've ever been to. He went, do you want a guitar pick? It just gave me his guitar pick. I've put it in a box. It's in a box now, labelled Teo's guitar pick.
He is missing out the part of the story where you've got a switchblade. Went, give me that right now.
No. He missed out the part where you were standing behind with the axe saying,
give it to him. And on top of that, probably the best item I got from Newcastle, which it's going to be effort to get out, but I think it's worth it. I've showed it to all of them before. Actually, no, I don't think Andy's actually seen it because it's not actually as tall as Andy. But good old Sun T-shirt.
I honestly, I just think that's so epic. It's just great.
I still need to hang it up. I'm planning on hanging it up very, very soon.
That was such a great gig. It's Riverside, isn't it? Was the venue? Yeah, that's such a great place. That I really there's a few venues around the country, and that's always one when we go there and we just go, wow, it's a great sounding room. It's loud. It's just people out there love it as well.
Absolutely.
That was where I had my thing for Brad, because Brad's just been. Well, we'd known Brad because of the London gig, because he bought me, Riley, and one of our friends a beer for helping him get his drum kit off stage.
Yeah.
Oh bless.
And I was sitting there thinking, wait, what the fuck?
That was the most surreal experience in my life. Well, one of them. This might be a bit more surreal. But like, because he came over to us after and like, oh, I'm buying all you fucking lads pints. Oh, he doesn't speak like that, but close enough.
We tried to imitate him the whole tour. It didn't work.
I changed the accent.
Yeah, he's from the Midlands somewhere.
Tom being nice and responsible was like, oh, he ain't old enough. And he just went, I don't give a fuck. Still just not the right accent. Cider? And we were like, yeah, sweet. And then I spilled. To be fair, I did spill like a third of mine on stage. And I think one of you's noticed, but I blamed it on Tom.
That's absolutely brilliant. No, Brad was really cool. Like, do you know what? That whole tour was one of the greatest tours I think we'd ever done, because everyone on there was just so chilled and just wanted to we were all there for the same reason. We just wanted to play music. No egos. It was just everyone having fun. We were all chipping in, helping each other. Like, it was really, really fun. All the boys in that band were wicked. They're really cool.
Yeah.
I had a thing for you, definitely. It was that Newcastle gig, and he went, you're invited to our wedding.
Oh, God, yeah, I do remember that. Oh, man.
Yeah.
Fucking hell. All these memories are so weird. It's so great to, like, chat about them, because you forget so many things that happen. And then all of a sudden it comes back and it's like, oh, yeah, that was great.
Brilliant. It is brilliant. But, I think we need to get a couple more questions.
I was literally going to say, I never thought I'd have to say this, but we haven't got enough of the questions in.
We're running out of time.
Yeah, literally. Usually we've got to like stretch the questions out. But I forgot about the questions. We're a good 20 minutes. So I've had a question that I really hate. And then I asked one last week, which I like. So I'm going to replace that one with this new one.
Righto.
So if the treatment had a mascot, what animal would it be? And why would it be that animal?
Ooh, that's a good one.
It doesn't have to be an animal. If you want it to be like a chair leg, it can be.
Well, I think actually, do you know what? We do actually have a little bit of a mascot. If you've seen...
It's a snake.
There is one treatment logo which has the snake in it. I don't quite know why that has developed, but we're just going to go.
This looks cool.
It's the surfing snake that wraps itself around the T. Yeah. So I guess if we did, then we'd have to have a snake.
To be fair, well, I'm planning on getting like a kind of like music tattoo done down there.
Yeah.
Your that logo is planned to be on there.
He said he's going to get it. Also, he has said this. I'm going to make sure it's right here so that if he goes back on
it's
it,
in evidence.
Oh, no.
He wanted it right along his forehead. The treatment and big.
I think that would look great, bro. If you get the treatment and the tea can just drop down on your nose, and it look like one of the
exactly.
and he's
gonna get those pants right on his all over his chest.
Beautiful.
It's gonna take up his whole chest. It's gonna be one of those 3D ones where they come out. It's gonna be like that.
Definitely.
What happened to them? I saw them all over the place in 2013, and I haven't actually heard of 3D tattooing forever. Did they become illegal because how horrific?
They became extinct.
All the people with the big Pokeball lumps on their arms.
I never quite got into that. It was like that scarification kind of crap. Yeah, I don't know.
It's I've never understood the massive I understand if it's culture, but if people are just willingly getting massive hoops. I
hate to say it, bro. It was a thing from my generation when we were about 16, 17. Just stretching your ears was just the coolest thing to do. It's so ridiculous when you look back now, and I'm so glad I never got mine done. But
now everyone thinks it's stupid.
It was around that emo phase, and it was just hey man, do you know what would be really rebellious? Let's just stretch giant holes in our ears. Great. Awesome.
Perfect.
Yeah. Just what I want. And now the problem is you get those guys hanging around, they've got the baggy old holes there, and it's I always remember the running joke when you stretched it far enough was you could fit 2 fags in your ears. That was the thing. And then we had a couple of lads and they used to smoke a fag through someone else's ear. It was really fucking weird. But yeah, it's all right, boys. You luckily you skipped that generation. You came along a bit later, so you're all right.
Yeah, we have a very normal generation. There's nothing weird about any of us.
I don't know.
None of us buy pants off of rock stars.
Yeah, no one carries axes in their room just for fun. It's all cool, man. Don't worry. No, you're totally
it's not a weapon. I want to disclose this because it's not a weapon. It's a display piece.
Right.
Yeah, it's not a weapon yet. It's not sharp yet.
Oh dear.
Oh
no.
He didn't like being called a creep.
Must have been something. It must have been a comment about the pants.
Must have struck. He's gone to get it tattooed. We actually hired one right now. He's going to come back 20 minutes later. His entire chest is just going to have 1-to-1 replica.
Oh, that's
well. I know I said I was going to replace this question, but I might as well ask it. Just fuck it. Dream venue. I'm assuming it's going to be similar to most people's answers, but maybe it won't. So, dream venue.
Dream venue. Okay, I think it's always been. I don't. There's a few legendary venues. There's Hammersmith Odeon, magnificent. Wembley Arena, which we actually did play. Good to have you back, brother. Wembley Arena that we actually did with Quo, and we did Hammersmith with Quo, but a venue I've always wanted to play since I saw I saw Metallica there when I must have been maybe 16, 17, is Wembley Stadium. It's just something you cannot get any more legendary. When you've played that, it's just okay.
Of course, yeah, that is that is the cream of the crop.
That's the holy grail. But other legendary places we played, there's the Bataclan in Paris. That was amazing. That was really legendary when we did that. I think, Hammersmith is so legendary in terms of the music history there. Brixton was, it was a dream venue when I played it because as a young kid, I saw the, I think it was called the Black Crusade tour. So it was Machine Head, Trivium, Dragon Force. I remember going to that in my school uniform, and I was like, "Fuck, this is so cool!" And then, 6-7 years later, we're there playing with Steel Panther, and that was a real amazing moment.
Steel Panther.
Yeah, that was really really cool. But I think legendary venues are definitely Wembley Stadium or Madison Square Gardens. That would be just unbelievable. And yeah, to be honest, I think those are my two. Once I've done that, that's it. I can retire. I'm good.
Fair enough.
Just those two.
But we've still got a long way to go to get there. Yeah.
As far as music related stuff goes, like fucking Steel Panther, The Treatment, and just Herman Lee. They're my S tiers. Like, it does not get better than like those three. That's where I pick.
Riley has a big love for Dragon Force.
Dude, everyone had a love for Dragon Force. When they first came out, it was like something you'd never ever heard before.
I still love them. They're still really good.
Yeah, I don't know. Are they still around or?
Yeah, they're doing a tour in December, I think. Either November or December.
I really want to go see them at some point.
They're playing with Powerwolf, I'm pretty sure. Which I'd really want to go see that, but weekday work, bad idea.
Yeah, very bad idea, but totally worth doing.
The moment I will, as much as having like one of my favorite bands on this podcast is unbelievable. The moment I will feel unbelievable is if we ever get Herman Lee on the podcast. Will be the day that I will feel such like height. Like I've seen it. I've listened to like him on podcasts before, and it's just he seems like such a sound guy. Like,
I think he is really cool. Like I said, I don't really know much about him. I just remember seeing him on like Kerrang and Scuzz back in the day. And when Through Fire and Flames first came out, it was just like, what is this craziness?
I love that song. It's so good. It's so mental. Amazing. Like, that's why I love it. Like, it's just so fast. You can't keep up. But
well, I like the one where he's like playing the video game and playing the guitar at the same time. Like, it's just awesome.
Yeah, it's mental. What, the Guitar Hero?
No, it was one of their videos. I can't remember what one. I don't know. It's really weird. I have all these kind of vague, like very vague memories of seeing like Dragon Force growing up, but yeah, it's just crazy.
Of course. God, right, Tom, are you back? I can't tell. Tom, yep, you're back.
He's back.
Kind of.
Right, so Tom,
yeah, I'm back.
Do you have any questions other than the question that you shouldn't ask?
I don't know what question it is that I shouldn't ask.
The one that we always get the same response of, every single time.
We'll ask that question.
No, because it's one of them that you probably can't answer.
No, I've warned him about this already.
Okay. See, Tom's learning. He's done his research. Tom.
I haven't done my research. I've just let our guests know that we're going to ask that question.
Fair enough. Okay, Tom.
So, what's the plan on new music at the moment with The Treatment?
I don't know why you always get absolutely. There's always new music on the go.
Because some bands don't want to reveal if they've got new music or not. They want to kind of keep it a secret, just so like bang out of nowhere.
Absolutely retarded. Of course, like if you're in any band, you should always be having new music at any time.
I think to an extent it's understandable. Like, I wouldn't want to be blowing my new release dates and projects announcements on the Uncentered podcast. But like,
true. I mean, well, listen. So, because me, Dan, Teo, and Lowell, we all still live together. There's always something going on, and whether he's like jamming some Mansworth stuff, and then like a riff comes up, and it's like, oh shit, that'd be cool for that. Or there's just always music happening, like at all times. So there's a collection of ideas at the moment. And it was actually when we did the last album, we recorded 16 tracks, and obviously I think only 12 made the album. So there was 4 songs left over anyway. And then straight away after that, there was always more ideas. There's probably a good 8 or 9 songs ready, like solid ideas ready to go. But at the moment, the plan for The Treatment is to definitely sort of knuckle and get our heads down and kind of really start getting some new songs together for the next record. It's something that it's been a long time since we brought any new music out, and it's something we need to do quite soon, I think. But with COVID, it put such a delay in touring the last album that we didn't really want to start recording something and not give it a good chance. It's really important that when you release an album, you kind of do the touring cycle for it. But that's kind of obviously got pushed back with COVID. But right now is where we're coming off the road and just going to really focus and get some new music together. But yeah, it's definitely in the work.
4 songs, were they like recorded and you took them off the album and they like never recorded?
No, they were recorded, literally ready to go. Just never
deluxe. You can have Waiting Good Luck Deluxe.
Good, but Yeah, I don't know. We've kind of never really done that. We always do. You do like a couple of acoustic tracks, and they're like your bonuses for different regions and stuff to get them. But the 4 songs, they just. I mean, there were 2 or 3 that were absolutely killer, but like that whole album was just brilliant.
It was.
It's really hard to, it's like 6 amazing bits of work. It's really hard to pick what ones. So often tracks that get left behind sometimes get regurgitated, like certain risks get taken and put in different stuff. And then other times, I actually think one of the songs will probably we've got everything recorded. We'll probably just release that on the next album,
Yeah.
Like, because I was writing down like my top like treatment songs like earlier, and I was realizing just as I was writing songs, fuck, Waiting on Good Luck is just such a good album.
Yeah,
like
it's gotta, and I think that's the hard thing with the set list at the moment is, it does have a lot of songs that are on that album at the moment because it has some killer songs, and they're like, there's a few that still, we'd love to play, like Take It or Leave It was in the set for a little while, and again that's such a massive tune, and Hold Fire again is like such a banger but it's so hard to, when you've got X amount of time and you've got 5 albums to sort of pick from, and that's why I always do the homage, and we put Hold Fire at the end of Vampirist now because it's just such a great riff, but we don't always have time to play the whole song, but it's like, you have to just have that riff in there because it's great. And Vampirist again, another massive one, Rat Race, Wrong Way, just so many.
Hold Fire is like right there on my workout playlist. It's just such a good song for that energy.
Hold Fire was it came out of nowhere. Like it just was like a song that just came around like that. It was so strange. It was just everything just fell into the right place at the right, and it was just like Lowell was there and he just came up with this idea for it, and then the lyrics were there, and then it was like, Hold Fire, yeah, all right, and then the chorus bits and the whole breakdown bit as well was all kind of like we would just sit there playing and just jam along, and then it just came and it was like, oh man, it was just beautiful. It was such a great song that I think really is something we do need to obviously put in the set at some point. It'd be great when we can do the longer sets on the headline tour and get a bit of extra time to play songs like that, because it's got such light and shade in the build up and breakdown.
Hold Fire live just great, like mental, like because you could have the whole audience like, oh, like, it'd be brilliant.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, well, it's very similar to I don't know if you remember off Power Crazy, Hang Them High.
Yeah,
a very like kind of similar style and like same kind of like just big chanty massive guitar riffs, fucking quick fiery solos. Like, yeah, it was some great stuff. Oh no, we've lost a member.
Okay, well, I was gonna ask him if you wanted to speak here. I mean, he doesn't need permission to speak, but I feel like I overtalk him a lot. But I mean, if he's not here, then I'm just gonna segue right into something that fits really well here, and he can pick up the pieces. So, what are your like top 3 or like top 5 treatment songs? Like, if you had to narrow it. Oh, Tom, we're doing this now, by the way.
So I think it would have to be Let It Begin.
What, number 5 or number 1?
Oh, all right, we'll start number 5. All right, number 5. I'm gonna go, and this is only because I heard it the other day, was I'll Be There. I just think that's such a killer riff.
Yeah.
Take It or Leave It is number 4. One of my all-time favorite. I just think it's a great song.
Of course.
The Doctor at number 3.
I almost put that on mine. It was so close.
I'm in the shittest bit of the house.
You're back, brother. That's all that matters. Don't worry. So yeah, Doctor is number 3. I think
I shouldn't have put you on the spot. I should have gave you time to rehearse this.
No. Oh man, Just Tell Me Why is number 2.
Mm-hmm.
And number 1 treatment song, I think for me, has to be Vampirist.
Yes.
I just love that song.
Oh, I was so tight. There were so many songs that I wanted to cram into my top 5. And I was like, I can't have 12 songs in my top 5.
But that's why it's so hard when, you get around to doing the set list, because it's like, how do you condense 50, 60 songs into, an hour set or a 45 minute set? How do you do that? And then you have to take in mind, you know, fan favorites as well, because it might not always be your favorite song. Like Shake the Mountain isn't one of my favorite songs, but people love it live.
Oh, it's so good. Shake the Mountain is so brilliant live.
I want to confirm this. Did we start the chant for it, or had people been doing that beforehand?
So what? No, that literally it had only come around on this last sort of like run of like the last year of shows, and it is something you need to
conveniently teach. When we started doing it in London,
you need to teach everyone up and down this country that it is something that we want to hear, because we don't always get it. Not every show. It's becoming more of a regular thing now, but it is so cool when the crowd starts chanting it back.
This is a broadcast.
Yes.
If we can get it out to everybody right now.
Yeah, please
do the chant now.
Do it.
Shake the Mountain. We need it, because it's such a big part of the song that's kind of missing. But you know, that riff is so heavy and it needs the two guitars to do the bottom bit, so you haven't really got the third guitar, which we'll be doing the higher part on the record. So when you hear the crowd chanting it back, it's just amazing.
It is.
Right, Tom, what's your top 5 treatment songs then?
Top 5? I thought we were doing top 3.
Yeah, I know. I changed it because I couldn't think of 3.
Oh no!
Oh dear!
I can do
one.
on
the spot here.
I can do my number 1 because I know my number 1 easily. It's The Outlaw. I love that song.
That is a great
with a burning.
Oh
yeah!
Oh, no, we've lost him.
I'm gonna do mine. There's no point singing in silence. So I'm more modern in the way that I listen to more of the recent treatment stuff. Like I still listen to like all of it, but I majority listen to the more recent albums.
Mm-hmm.
So these two are interchangeable. Right, no. I'm gonna stick it how it is, because if I start thinking, then we will be here all day. But I put at number 5, I put On the Money. Hello, Tom.
Good tune.
Yeah, I thought On the Money is just such a good song. It's the best way I can describe it. It's a song for when you're walking down a street feeling really good. Like that's On the Money, and I fucking love it. And then my number 4 is like the main reason why I love the treatment so much, because this song was the one Tom played me to convince me like to listen to you, and it's Rat Race.
Okay.
Oh, I love Rat Race. It's so good.
Yeah, it's mega. Like
we were in a car one day, and he was like, oh shit, we have 10 minutes left and still have 3 questions to run through.
Jesus Christ.
That's right, boys. We'll slam them.
God. Right, yeah, but yeah, so he played it and I was like, oh shit, this is proper good. So my top 3. Number 3, I put Eyes on You, because I really wanted to put that in on top 1, but I couldn't.
That's one of my favorites to do live, actually.
Oh, absolutely. Really, every time we've heard it live, me and Tom are screaming those lyrics.
Yeah, it's just got that massive riff, and it's just so angry. It's just such a brilliant song.
But there is a song that we do scream louder, but not there yet. Number 2, Barman.
All right.
I love it. It's such a good song. I just lay at night, look at the ceiling, and fucking Barman. It's brilliant.
Yeah. He just sees a barman up in the sky.
Yeah, I just see a barman.
You're not even old enough to drink yet. Stop it.
No one knows that.
Non-alcoholic cocktail, man.
Yeah. my non-alcoholic man.
I need another Tropicana. And then number 1, Let It Begin. I felt I had to put that at number 1.
Do you know what? I've just realised I missed Let It Begin out of my 5.
Yeah. That I scream I think me and Tom, there's no song we scream louder than that song.
Yeah. We don't scream it, we squeal it.
Interesting story about that song. So the original lyrics, when you kind of had the idea and the song was going along, and just when you have these kind of things, like you throw out like jumble words, okay, to try and the original actual lyrics we had was, "You can't ride this rocket, my friend." No, sorry, You Can Ride My Rocket, My Friend, or something. And we suddenly thought back and we said, you can ride my rocket, dear friend, or something like that. And we're like, actually, that sounds really, really, really wrong. That's just not quite right. And so that's how it all kind of changed. But yeah, that was the original. I think because we're there, and Lowell just kind of like, when he's trying to just work out melodies and stuff, he'll like throw out sort of random like phrases or whatever, and that was the first thing that came out. And then it kind of stopped for a while, and then it was only when I think it was when I can't remember who was jamming it with us or who was going to be doing the vocals, kind of said, actually, this is really kind of reads quite wrong. And yeah, so then it obviously changed to what you hear now. Yeah, it's a fun little fact about that one.
Yeah, no, but I just love that song. It's so good.
Yeah,
it's a quality song.
It's a mega. Right, Tom, we need to hear your 5.
We do.
Fuck. Outlaw number 1. I could easily go Generation Me, probably number 3. I need to know what number 2 is.
I haven't heard that song in ages.
Tell Me the Truth is number 2. Yes. Tell Me the Truth. I love that song.
What? God, it's so weird. I haven't actually even listened to that record in yonks. Yeah,
I listen to it all the time because I've got it on CD as well.
Yeah.
Number 4, I would probably put On the Money. And number 5 would probably be Shake the Mountain, actually.
Yeah. Can't fault you there, bro. That's a solid. God, bringing up songs.
Obviously, I missed out Let It Begin, but I prefer all those songs to that, to be honest.
Yeah.
Definitely. We're not going to do this. I'm going to be dead straight. We've got like the 2 biggest questions and the segment.
If we need extra time, we need extra time.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest. We might need to run into a 3rd one.
All right.
But yeah, so Tom, if it makes you feel any better, we won't have to do the forbidden segment. Oh, he's gone.
That's a solid reply.
Yeah. He's just so overwhelmed with joy. It's your loss, honestly. I love it. But right, let me tick that off. Okay, so Tom has more bloody questions, but he's not here, is he?
Tell you what, why don't dude shut it up now? Let's restart a new one, and then maybe it might sort out his signal.
Right, okay. We will be back, well, in about now. Hang on, I'll get to a click. Oh shit, I was Skadoosh.
Number 3.
Yeah. So,
weren't expecting that.
Yeah, and a 3rd one. We don't have to stretch it for time today. We're learning.
Terribly sorry, boys. You must be very, very bored of my voice.
I'm not.
No, we're loving it.
Man. I'm loving every second of this.
Smelling myself while I'm sitting here. Jesus. Right.
Yeah, but yeah, so Tom, we won't have to do the forbidden segment. I know you're devastated.
Good.
Okay.
Hit me. The segment.
Right. So should I get? Actually, no, Tom. It's your question turn.
I don't have another question. I thought we was just doing the last 2 questions.
Dive right into fucking. Right. This is where it gets serious. Like everything's been child's play, and now we're writing fucking emotional strands with this next one. Everything.
Okay.
Your world's gonna shatter. Have you ever watched Black Mirror? It's like you could get this in Black Mirror. Like it's fucking. It'll change your life.
Okay.
What is the best sandwich?
I mean, I can't even believe you're asking me that question, because obviously a cheese ploughman.
Just that it. That's it.
I
know.
No other question.
There is no other answer either.
I mean, to be fair, we did have crisp sandwich last episode.
Think about.
I'm
going to let you to think about what you just said. I need to go for 30 seconds.
All right. So
yes, explain.
There's a crisp sandwich on tour that is the staple sandwich, because whenever you go in, all right, you get whatever basic sandwiches are in the fridge, okay, and they're always like, you've got the ham sandwich, the plain cheese sandwich, If you're lucky, you've got the ham and cheese sandwich, but that's only if you're lucky. So how do you spice stuff up on tour? Well, another staple in the dressing room is a bag of crisps. So obviously, the only way to spice up a very dead Tesco's basic value sandwich is to add crisps in it. And it's a very classic British thing to do, I think. But the ultimate is the cheese sandwich with a prawn cocktail crisp in it.
Agreed.
That is a sandwich.
I remember seeing on the Instagram. So I think it might have been you that just handed someone just a piece of bread with a bit of ham in the middle of it. Just one piece of bread in half with a bit of ham on it. Can't remember what it was.
We had, luckily on this tour, it wasn't that bad, but on the April tour, there was a couple of days where we were really skint, man. Like really broke.
Is this like the forbidden sandwich?
We had this sandwich bag that me and Teo, we ran out of money for about 3 days. And we're like, well, what the fuck are we going to do? All right, okay. So we genuinely had this bag in the front of the van. And bearing in mind, like the van goes from being very hot to very cold. So everything, the contents of this bag must have been cooked about 5 times. We had a pot of mayo, a pot of pickle, a moldy old lettuce, block of cheese, some stale bread, and for about 3 days, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, me and Teo just ate sandwiches. And it got to the 3rd day, and it was like fucking 5 in the morning, or we had to get up early to get to the next show. And I was sitting there making these sandwiches with Teo, and I had my prima donna moment. I just gave it the sandwich. I took one bite, and I just went, "Fuck this! I'm fucking done. I'm not eating another fucking sandwich." Because it was just like, oh man, like the shits were terrible. They were so rock solid. Like the sandwich tasted the same every day.
So that wasn't your favourite sandwich, I'm assuming.
That was not my favourite sandwich. No, my ultimate sandwich is the cheese ploughman, man. That's a heavy sandwich.
Right. Counter argument. I made this the other day because I didn't have much time before I had to shoot out. And what I made, I felt sick before I ate it just because I was so disappointed. Bread, butter, cheese, packet of Frazzles, butter, bread. I had a Frazzle and cheese sandwich.
I think solid. I'm not going to lie to you. Solid sandwich.
I think wrong. I digested it. Don't recommend.
I'll be sure not to try that on tour, all right?
Oh no, you definitely should.
It sounds good.
You definitely should.
It sounds good because it sounds. It sounds good because it sounds. Oh, bacon and cheese sandwich. That sounds all right.
Yeah, but it's not bacon. It's
not bacon. It's Frazzles. It's bacon flavored, not actual bacon.
It's not quite bacon and cheese, is it? It's not like a nice bacon and cheese sandwich. You
definitely should try it, but not in a way that it's the best sandwich you'll ever eat.
I'm sure there's a few terrible moments where I will come to encounter a packet of Frazzles and a cheese Tesco sandwich on the side, and I'll go, oh, mate. You know what? A man told me once, a long time ago, about this sandwich.
Make sure you send me that one the day you have a Frazzle and cheese sandwich. Oh god. Yeah, but that I love.
It's become a staple of the podcast now.
Yeah,
it's like in the last 3 questions we will ask, it's always the 3 best questions that we will ask. That is normally not the top 2.
I love it.
Like it's lasted longer than some of the segments I've tried to do. I like in the first episode, I started 1 note for every song on blank, where I'd read out a note for every song on a different album. That lasted 1 episode.
He never did it again.
And now we've just got to the sandwich.
Yeah, and I prefer it. The sandwich question's so much better. Like it really hits you in your heartstrings, I think.
Yeah, something everyone can relate to.
Exactly.
We've all been in that situation.
We've all been in a situation where we thought, "Fuck, what's the most maniacal sandwich?"
Yeah.
Some puzzles.
Okay, right. So, Tom, are we sure I'm not allowed to ask the forbidden?
Yeah, 100%.
Fine.
Well, I'm refusing to have it.
We'll have to move on to the final question.
All right, this is final. We'll give you a drum roll.
Yeah, Tom isn't allowing me the other one.
It ain't a question, it's just a segment.
Yeah, it's not a question, it's a segment for if I need to fill time.
I'm grabbing my pad and pencil. Yeah. You've got a lot of time to think about this now.
Oh yeah, he's got his pen and pad ready to write down everything you say. So think of this like you're with a judge and jury. Everything you're saying is getting written down.
All right. Being tried and found guilty.
You can have. You're guilty of horrible sandwich.
You have the option. You can make a band. Now, I'll go through all the rules first. They can be dead or alive, but they will be alive when they play.
Okay.
You have to have at least the core fundamentals of a drummer, guitarist, bassist, singer, but you can have anyone else playing whatever instrument. So you could have fucking like a backup guitarist, someone on the triangle, any of that. They don't have to play the instrument that they're playing either. Like if you wanted to put like, I don't know, like Nikki Sixx on drums, yeah, why not? But that will affect your final score. I mean, you're not going to get the score now, but Tom's planning something.
Judging, I like it.
Is that all the rules?
It's all for a video in the future.
There's not really a cap on how many you're allowed, and you can be in the band if you want, but you don't have to.
Okay,
go ahead.
Rhythm section, 100%. You have to have Phil Rudd. He's the man. Okay. Now, controversial opinion.
Okay.
I love Tom Morello's playing from Rage Against the Machine. I think he's very innovative. What's the word?
Innovative.
Yeah, that's the one. Well done. Guitar player, and he's got a very old school, like Hendrix style, but very modern as well in his riff approach. I would also have to have obviously, look, we need another good rhythm in there. So let's have Malcolm Young, but on bass, okay? Because he lays it down, but I don't know how well his rhythm would work with Tom Morello. It might not. It might clash a little bit.
Possibly.
Guitarist from a band called the Stone Roses, John Squire.
Oh, yeah.
Now, I don't like the first Stone Roses album, but the second one, Second Coming, is some of my favorite guitar playing of all time.
Yeah.
He's almost like a modern day Jimmy Page, I think. So I'd have him on guitar as well.
Yeah.
So we've got Tom Morello, John Squire on guitar, we've got Mal on bass, we've got Rudd on drums, and then singing. Oh. Gimme. Oh dear. Give me Robert Plant or Bon. I tell you what, Robert Plant, Bon Scott on backing vocals.
Okay.
And then I would have.
Did you say I'm backing?
Huh?
Who did you say I'm backing?
Bon Scott. And then give me Prince playing keys.
Okay. And now, right, hang on. Before you complete, you cannot change anything once you've said submit. So if you want to add like some like ridiculous character on like the trombone, now's your chance to do it.
Okay. And then I tell you what, I'd take. Give me BB King on harmonica. Just to see what happens.
Yeah, you know what?
All right.
That's fair.
Submit.
He's submitted.
Submit.
That is such a that is a super band.
It is. I think that might even beat my bands. Oh God.
Enjoy, my boys.
I'm wow.
Yeah, that is a super band. You might win.
That might go all the way through to the finals.
I quite like the sound of this. Do let me know when the results come in.
Oh, we need to let you know how it works first.
we don't even know how it works yet.
But you just know something's going.
Yeah.
I think we'll probably just listen to all of them, rank them, and then go, yeah, I like this one better.
Yeah.
obviously not listen to them as we're going to call them all up and go, hey, man, hey, do you fancy come playing a few keys? What do you mean, no? Well, fuck you, Freddie Mercury.
Shut up, Freddie.
Yeah.
It might be a tad bit well, actually, it'll be all opinions. It'll all be opinions, but
we'll make a poll.
We'll make sure that.
All right.
We'll make a poll with all of our
that's what you need to do.
Fans.
Even better. That is a good plan.
That is actually a good idea. And then if we if we hit up everyone on the podcast, like, hey, can you post this poll? And then everyone can chip in, and we'll see who is the Omega band.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't know when we're going to unleash it, but it's in the works.
I reckon Tag's band will beat my band, to be fair.
Possibly.
Especially with Steven Tyler on vocals, you can definitely beat that.
I don't think we should include whose band it is, though, so it's not biased. I think we should just slap them in.
Just a band. Just a band.
Yeah, just write the name.
Put the people in it.
Oh shit! Wait, Tom, have we ever asked what the name is up until now?
No,
never mind.
Once actually, just once, but we never asked anyone else.
All right.
Who did we ask?
Don't even put me on the spot because I wouldn't even be able to think of it.
that was Baz, because he just decided, you know what, we'll do it for the joke's sake, and we'll just go Massey Wagons.
Oh, you should listen to that. Was a big. That's a brilliant episode.
Oh, that was fucking horrendous. That was chaos.
It's the type of thing you have to experience to appreciate. Like
with me lagging in and out probably about 9 times. I was in and out of the call about 9 times, and then the episode after that, I was 12 times. I've been counting every single episode.
Oh, mate, that's savage.
It is. His Wi-Fi is not the best.
No, actually, no, it's not just my Wi-Fi, it's my room. My room is not the worst for Wi-Fi.
Oh, this is running on Ethernet, so mine's slightly better.
I'm running on iOS.
Oh, Jesus, boys.
Well,
equipment issue.
That's all the questions ticked. So, Tom, unless you're going to change your mind on...
No,
fine.
Not even changing my mind.
No, mate, I love it. That was great.
Right, so I think I'm out. Tom, do you have anything else you need to get in?
I'm out. Out.
And Tag, do you have anything that you want to say for the end?
I'm out as well. Thank you for
right.
that. That was wicked. Right.
Well, thank you very much for listening. Please go listen to the treatment. They're really good. Like, genuinely.
And Mansworth. We can't get back one.
We can't have one without the other now.
Yeah,
so
exactly. They're a package deal. Like, this has honestly been like such a brilliant experience for me, being able to interview one of my all-time. I remember one of my all-time favorite bands. So go like stream all their shit because it's so good. Subscribe to us, follow us on the socials. It's in the description. Please like this and comment saying how much I'm proper shit. It'll do wonders for my self-esteem.
And be careful because you might have a mad axeman outside.
Yeah.
A good point.
But okay, right.
Cheers, boys.
Thank you very much. I'll see you on the next one.
See you the next show, man.
Bye.